This time around, we are drawing ears. Ears are actually very unique within the human body. They can have divots and wrinkles and folds, but generally speaking, if you draw just a regular C, and if you want to add some visual interest to it, you definitely can, but you don't necessarily have to. That top's going to be wider and bigger than the bottom. And then you have that shell of your ear, so it's going to follow that same original line all the way around. And an easy way to do this, if you're doing the opposite side, so if we got an ear, is to do a question mark, like that. If you're doing the opposite side. So it's the same basic idea. Then on the interior of this, you're going to have that coming around like so. Now everybody's ear is different. Genetically speaking, we're all very, very unique. And we all have certain aspects to ourselves that makes us even more individual than others. All right? The ear is really interesting because of some of those attributes. Once you have these really basic lines blocked in, after this, all it is shading. Okay? So it's all about the values. Now around that shell of the ear is going to be relatively dark, so we can block that in. And then I'm barely using any pressure in areas like this. And if you wanted to bring some lines up around the shell of the ear to designate that that is a curved object, you definitely can. On the interior again, it's going to be very dark. And I want to go back in and fix up that line a little bit. On the inside of the ear, very dark. But it's not going to be black all the way in. And having a reference and drawing from something specific is always going to be a good idea. So if you have a picture of an ear, want to look something up online, that can never hurt. I'm just using the side of my pencil so I can get lots of lead. And this also gives me the added benefit of being able to establish a variety of different values. If you want to add in earrings, earrings a lot of times are very easy to do. You don't just have to do studs unless you want to, like maybe you wanted to do an industrial bar, like what I have in one of my ears. Earrings are just gonna add some detail to your ears and give them a little bit of flair, if you so desire. Remember, you have these lovely blending tools that you have at your availability. This is going to soften everything up, give it a nice finished look. As a quick reminder, these do soften out your darkest colors and your values. So you might want to go back in and reestablish some of those really dark areas. But on some of my really lighter areas, sometimes these can be useful as well. because I can just touch in a little bit of value. If you wanted, I don't like having a bunch of floating ears personally, so maybe you want to help define some of that. So we can add in a little bit of a hair bun. This is going to help define my ear, help make it pop, and you don't have to do this. We're just adding in some values so you can see the contrast between that lighter ear and the darker ear. Just a little low messy bun. Not so much concerned about the hair as showcasing the contrast and letting my ear pop off my page. Just an option, definitely not something that you need to do, but adding a little extra never hurt anybody. And there you have it, an ear.